Good morning all. Let us see the next examples of first chapter, that is complex number. So if alpha minus I beta equal to 1 upon a minus ib, then prove that alpha square plus beta square into a square plus b square equal to 1. So to prove this equation, we have given this information that alpha minus I beta, one of the complex number, is equal to 1 upon another complex number a minus ib. So we have to use this equation to prove this. Left side is equal to RHS, that is 1. So how to use this equation? So there is one idea you can remember, that or hint, that if there is a complex number in denominator or numerator upon denominator type complex number, then the simplification of that equation or that term, in that simplification we have to use the rationalization. You can use the rationalization to get the your answer. So let us use the rationalization, because this complex number is in denominator. So consider alpha minus I beta equal to 1 upon a minus ib. So here this is your first step, that we are using the rationalization step. That is, we have to multiply and divide by the opposite, that is complex conjugate of this denominator. So 1 upon a minus ib, multiply a plus ib and divide by a plus ib. So this is your rationalization process. So the numerator 1 into a plus ib, that is a plus ib upon a minus ib into a plus ib. So here simplify this. So numerator write the numerator as it is, a plus ib, and denominator, for denominator use the a minus b, a plus b formula. So a minus b into a plus b is a square minus b square. That is your general formula. So a square is, here a value is a, so a square is a into a, that is a square, minus b square is, this is your b value. Or you can use x minus y into x plus y formula in another variables. So we have x square minus y square. So x value is a and y value is ib. So x square means a square and y square means I square b square. I square value is minus 1, as I value is root minus 1. So put the value of I square. So we get a plus ib upon a square plus b square. So here we get alpha minus I beta equal to a plus ib upon a square plus b square. If we separate out this a square plus b square, so we have a upon a square plus b square plus b upon plus ib upon a square plus b square, ib upon a square plus b square. So this is one kind of complex number in the form of x plus iy. X is your value a upon a square plus b square, and y has the value b upon a square plus b square. So here by using this equation and by using the rationalization for right side 1 upon a minus ib, we get this alpha minus ib equal to another complex number in the form of x plus iy. Now we have alpha minus ib equal to another complex number. Now we can compare, the left side is your complex number, right side is also your complex number. So now the next step will be compare the real part and imaginary part on both sides. We can compare this. So we get alpha equal to, alpha means real part. So here left side is alpha, on right side the real part is a upon a square plus b square. So we get alpha equal to a upon a square plus b square, and minus beta equal to, I coefficient is minus beta. So on left side we get minus beta equal to b upon a square plus b square. So this is the comparison of real part. On left side the real part is alpha, on right side the real part is a upon a square plus b square. So comparing means we have to write in equal notation. So alpha equal to a upon a square plus b square, and minus beta is your imaginary part for left side complex number, and on right side the ith coefficient is your imaginary part, that is on right side the imaginary part is b upon a square plus b square. So we have minus beta equal to b upon a square plus b square, that is beta equal to minus b upon a square plus b square. So by using the rationalization for this right side term, we get, and by comparing the real and imaginary parts on both sides of these two complex numbers, we get alpha equal to this value, beta equal to minus b upon a square plus b square. Now consider the left side. So in left side a square plus b square, we don't have any idea about this a square plus b square bracket or the ab values. Just we are using this given equation and we get the alpha beta values only. So let us see what happened by putting the alpha beta values in the left side. So consider the left side, or you can consider this alpha plus b square only. So alpha plus b, first you can calculate alpha square plus beta square, or you can directly consider the LHS. So here I have written the alpha square plus beta square. So alpha square plus beta square equal to, this is your alpha value, alpha square plus beta square. Squaring the numerator and denominator separately, we get a square upon this denominator square plus minus b square is b square upon denominator square. So denominator is same, so we get a square plus b square upon a square plus b square bracket square. One bracket get cancelled and hence we get 1 upon a square plus b square. Now consider left side. So alpha square plus b square into a square plus b square value. So put the alpha square plus beta square value, that is 1 upon a square plus b square in this left side. So 1 upon a square plus b square into a square plus b square. Again this numerator bracket and denominator bracket get cancelled and we get the right side as 1. So we have proved this equation. So how we proved this? So using this equation, so this is your first step, that is important. So on right side term we use the rationalization, and by comparing by comparing the real and imaginary parts and by finding alpha beta values. This is the important, that for proving this equation we have to find the alpha beta values from this given equation. So first step is rationalization of this RHS. Then second step is find the alpha beta values and then prove the left side is equal to right side. Next example is, if argument of z plus 1, that is argument means your theta value. Theta has the another name in the wording name, that is argument. This theta notation or theta is also called as amplitude or argument of given complex number. So argument of z plus 1 equal to pi by 6, this is given. Again the next term is given, argument of z minus 1 equal to 2 pi by 3. Then find the z value. So this is we have to find z. So use these two terms. So given that argument of z plus 1 equal to pi by 6. So here only we have given these two equations. So how to use these two equations? So one step you can put that the z value, we can put the z value. Z has the general value x plus iy. So you can use this. So here we are putting z equal to x plus iy. So argument of x plus iy plus 1 equal to pi by 6. So separate out the real part and imaginary part. So x plus 1 is your real part and plus iy is your imaginary term. So argument of x plus 1 plus iy equal to pi by 6. So for this equation, again same argument of xy term you can get for the second term. So argument of z minus 1, that is argument of z minus 1, that is put z equal to x plus iy. Separate out the real and imaginary terms, x minus 1 take together plus iy separately. So argument of this. So these two equations we get. So from these two, as we know, argument of z, that is argument of given complex number, is equal to tan inverse y by x. So that is your general formula. Argument of z, that is complex number. Argument of complex number is tan inverse, that is theta value. Theta value is tan inverse y by x. So here argument of z, that is argument of given complex number. If that z is in the form of x plus iy, then argument is given by tan inverse y by x. So if this is a complex number, then its argument is tan inverse y by x. Argument means theta value. This we have seen in previous lecture. That is these are the basic formulae in complex number chapter. So here argument of this complex number is given as pi by 6. So for left side we can use For this argument of this complex number, we can use the tan inverse formula. So tan inverse y by x. If the complex number is in the form of x plus iy, then argument of this z is tan inverse imaginary part y upon real part x. So in this example, imaginary part is y and real part is x plus 1. So you can write, or you can change this left side as tan inverse imaginary part y upon real part x plus 1. So here we are used the theta formula, tan inverse y by x formula. So this is your general formula, that is if the given complex number is z is equal to x plus iy, then its theta value or argument of this z we can write as tan inverse y by x. Y is your imaginary part and x is your real part. So if this complex number, then we have this formula. So for this complex number, what is the formula? Changes tan inverse y upon x plus 1. Right side write as it is, pi by 6. So here we get tan inverse. In this complex number, imaginary part is y and real part is x plus 1. So use this formula for this complex number. Here imaginary part is y and real part is x plus 1. So tan inverse y upon x plus 1. So tan inverse y upon x plus 1 is equal to pi by 6. Then simplify by taking this tan inverse on right side. So y upon x plus 1 equal to tan pi by 6, and tan pi by 6 has the value 1 by root 3. So you can use the calci. Pi by 6. So pi by 6 means, so it is important that write this hint also. When the calci has the setting in D form, that is degree form, we have to type the angle. If the calci is in the degree setting, and when we type the angle, then that angle should be in the degree form, not in the radian form. So if the calci is in the radian form, then we have to type the angle in the radian form. Radian form means in the pi form, and degree form means 30 degree, 60 degree, 90 degree, etc. And radian form means pi by 2, pi by 3, 2 pi by 3, etc. So remember this. So here we have this the setting of this calci in the degree form. So tan pi by 3. So this is your pi by 6. So this is your radian angle. Don't type this pi. Here there is a pi angle, but as the calci is in the degree setting, we have to take this pi by 6 angle in the degree form. So pi by 6 means pi is 180. Pi by 6 means 30 degrees. So put here 30 degree. So we have root 3 by 3 tan 30 root 3 by 3. So root 3 by 3 means 1 by root 3. Root 3 by 3. Don't write this directly. We have to simplify this. So root 3 by 3 means, so root 3 upon 3 means root 3 into root 3. So 1 root 3 get cancelled. So we get 1 by root 3. So this is your 1 by root 3. So if in the degree setting, we have to type the angle in the degree form. So if in the radian mode, set the calci in radian mode. So tan of, now we have to put pi by 6 directly. So pi upon 6 root 3 by 3. So this is the method to type the angle in degree setting and radian setting. So tan pi by 6 is root 3 by 3, that is 1 by root 3. So here by taking the cross multiplication, that is y upon x plus 1 equal to 1 upon root 3. So take this root 3 on left side. So root 3y equal to, take this x plus 1 on right side, x plus 1. So we get x, take this root 3y upon on right side and plus 1 on left side. So x minus root 3y is equal to minus 1. So this is your first xy equation. So by using this first term and by simplifying, we get the equation in xy. So again, by similar simplification, by using similar simplification, we have to find the another xy equation by using this second term. So argument of z plus 1 is equal to pi by 6. First step is put z value as x plus iy, and then separate out the real parts and imaginary parts. So x plus 1 plus iy. Then for left side, apply the argument formula, that is tan inverse imaginary part upon a real part in this complex number, and take this tan inverse on the right side, we get the xy equation. So similarly, use this equation and find the second xy equation. So argument of z minus 1 equal to 2 pi by 3. Put z is equal to x plus iy. Separate out real part and imaginary part. Argument of x minus 1 plus iy equal to 2 pi by 3. Apply the theta formula. Tan inverse real imaginary part upon real part. Imaginary part is y. Real part is x minus 1. Here, ith coefficient is your imaginary part. So, ith term and without ith term, we have to separate out to get the imaginary part, that is ith coefficient, and real part means without ith term. So, I coefficient is your imaginary part. So, y upon real part is x minus 1. So, tan inverse y upon x minus 1 equal to 2 pi by 3. Take this tan inverse on the right side. Tan 2 pi by 3. So, using calci, you can find tan 2 pi by 3 equal to minus root 3. Tan 2 pi by 3. So, as this is the radian setting, so you can use this radian angle directly. So, tan 2 pi upon 3 minus root 3. So, tan 2 pi by 3 is minus root 3. So, again, take this x minus 1 on right side. So, we get y equal to minus root 3 into x minus 1. So, multiply this minus root 3 to this bracket. We get minus root 3x plus root 3. Take this x term on left side. So, root 3x plus y equal to plus root 3. So, this is your second equation. This is your first equation. And solve these two equations. Further, we can solve these two equations simultaneously and we get the values of x, y. And to find z means, z has the general form, that is x plus iy. That is, we are using these two terms by putting z is equal to x plus iy. There are two main steps to solve this example, that is putting z is equal to x plus iy and using the argument formula, that is tan inverse imaginary part upon real part. Putting z is equal to x plus iy and using this argument formula, tan inverse formula, we get two equations, xy equations. Solve these two equations simultaneously and find the values of xy and put these two values x and y as z has the form x plus iy. So, to find z means put the values of x and y here, we get value of z. So, here how to solve these two equation, equation number 1 and equation number 2. So, here x coefficient is 1, here x coefficient is root 3. So, multiply root 3, we have to bring the coefficient, or we have to multiply some number to get the coefficient same. So, we have to bring x coefficient as same or y coefficient as same. So, here take or bring the x coefficient as same number. So, here x coefficient is root 3. So, we want here root 3. So, multiply root 3 to this equation. We get root 3x minus root 3 into root 3 is 3y equal to minus root 3. So, solve this equation a and 2. So, how to solve? Subtract equation a and equation 2. So, we get root 3x minus 3y equal to minus root 3. And the second equation is root 3x plus y equal to root 3. So, take the subtraction of these two equations, minus minus minus. Root 3 minus root 3x get cancelled, minus 3y minus 4y equal to minus 2 root 3. So y equal to 2 upon minus 2 upon 4 is 1 by 2 root 3. So we get y value as root 3 by 2. Put this y value root 3 by 2 in any equation, in equation 1 or a or 2. So one equation is simpler than a and 2. So use this first equation to find the x value. So put this value y equal to root 3 by 2 here. We get x minus root 3. Y value is root 3 by 2 equal to minus 1. So x root 3 3 by 2 equal to minus 1. Take this minus 3 by 2 on right side. Minus 1 plus root 3 by 2. So minus 2 plus 3, 1 by 2. So we get x equal to 1 by 2. So put these values x equal to 1 by 2 and y equal to root 3 by 2 in this x plus iy, because to find z means z has the form z is equal to x plus iy. So put x here and y here. So we get z is equal to x value is 1 by 2, y value is root 3 by 2. So we get the value of z. So in this example, what are the main steps? Put z value equal to x plus iy. Then use argument formula, that is tan inverse formula. Get two xy equations. Solve these two xy equations. Find xy values and put in this formula, that is z equal to x plus iy. Values of xy, we get the value of z. Next is, if sum and product of two complex numbers are real, sum and product of two complex numbers are real, then show that those two numbers must be, that is these two complex numbers must be either real or conjugate. Conjugate means, suppose this is your first complex number, then its conjugate means x minus iy. So this is your first complex number, this is your second complex number. So here we have to prove that if the sum and the product of two complex numbers are real, sum is real and product is also real, then we have to prove that these two complex numbers are conjugate of each other, or if they are conjugate or they are real. So we have to prove that these two complex numbers are real, or these two complex numbers are conjugate of each other. That is, if one complex number is this, then another complex number should be x minus iy. So this we have to prove. So how to prove this? So only in wording form we have given the information, that is one sentence we have given that sum and product of two complex numbers are real. So we have to assume two complex numbers. So let us assume z1 equal to first complex number x1 plus iy1, z2 equal to x2 plus iy2 be the two complex numbers. Then the sum is real number, so we have to take the sum of these two numbers and product of these two complex numbers. So product is z1 z2, so put the z1 value here, z2 value here, and take the bracket multiplication. So after simplification of this bracket multiplication, x1 x2 plus x1 iy2 plus iy1 x2 plus I square y1 y2, put I square value, I square is your minus 1, so we get minus y1 y2 here, and separate out the real parts and imaginary parts. So x1 x2 minus y1 y2, after putting I square value, that is minus 1, we get x1 x2, or take together x1 x2 and last term y1 y2. So this is your real part, and combine this or merge these two numbers I into x1 y2 plus y1 x2. So z1 z2 product is this. Then sum is z1 plus z2. Put the z1 value x1 plus iy1 plus z2 value is x2 plus iy2, and take real parts together, imaginary parts together. So x1 plus x2 in one bracket, plus take I common into y1 plus y2 into another bracket. So this is your simplification of product of two complex numbers and addition of two complex numbers. Now here it is given that this product and this sum, this product is we got in the form of complex number. Also this summation of these two complex numbers we get in the complex number or complex form. So here the information is given that the product and sum is real, that is real number. So how to use that sentence? So here the product is we get as a real number, and this product we got this complex number. So z1 z2 must be real number. This is your real number or real part, and this is your imaginary part. So if we want this z1 z2 is real number, then the ith coefficient must be 0. So here we get the conclusion by using this sentence that the product must be real number. So for real number, here we get this product is not real number only. We get another complex number. The product is, by taking the product of these two complex numbers, we get another complex number. But in the example it is given that the product must be real number, and this is your real part and this is your imaginary part. So we want real number. This product should be real number. For this, for satisfying this sentence, this imaginary part must be 0. So I into x1 y2 plus y1 x2 should be 0, means this bracket should be 0, and this is should be a real number. So here, by using this sentence, what we get the conclusion, z1 z2 must be real, means this imaginary part should be 0. Then this sentence will be satisfied. Then we get product will be real part or real number. So in the, by using this first sentence, we get for product equation, we get x1 y2 plus y1 x2, that is imaginary part, equal to 0. Next is, also this sum is also real part. Again we get z1 plus z2 equal to another complex number, but in the given example sum is also real part or real number. Hence z1 plus z2 equal to another in the form of another complex number. From this we have to take this y1 plus y2 equal to 0, so that we get z1 plus z2, that is addition of two complexes, is real part. So this is your real part, this is your imaginary part. So imaginary part must be 0 to satisfy this sentence, that is sum is also real. So z1 plus z2 equal to x1 plus x2 if y1 plus y2 equal to 0. So here we get the another conclusion that y1 plus y2 equal to 0. Now these are the two conclusions, that is this is your equation number 1, this is your equation number 2. Now here consider this equation x1 y2 plus y1 x2 equal to 0. Now use this second equation in first equation. What we have done here, we assume two complex numbers, then taken the product of two complex numbers and addition of two complex numbers. Then to satisfy this sentence, that is sum and also product is real, we are taking imaginary part equal to 0. So here we get two conclusions, that is from product of two complex numbers we get this conclusion, this imaginary part equal to 0, and from this sum of the two complex numbers we get this conclusion. So solve these two equations. So how to solve? Use this second equation in first equation, that is put y1 equal to minus y2 in this first equation. So x1 y2 plus y1 x2 is equal to x1 y2 minus y1 value is from this second equation. Use this second equation means put the value of y1 is equal to minus y2 in this first equation. So minus y2 x2. So take y2 common, so x1 minus x2 equal to 0. Simplify this, we get y2 equal to 0 or x1 minus x2 equal to 0 means x1 equal to x2. So by using this second equation, that is y1 value in first equation, we get the conclusions, two conclusions, that is we get y2 equal to 0 and x1 equal to x2. Now use these two cases or two conclusions one by one. So if y2 equal to 0 from second equation, so if y2 equal to 0, we get another conclusions, that is y1 equal to 0. So y1 y2 0 if the y1 y2 0, then z, if the y1 y2 0, then what we have to prove? That z1 z2 must be either real or conjugate. So here first step is assume the two complex numbers, then we use the sentence that is sum and product are must be real numbers. So for using that sentence we get the conclusion that imaginary part equal to 0. So these are the two equations. Use this second equation in first equation, and by simplifying we get y2 equal to 0 and x1 equal to x2. So use these two conclusions one by one. We get if y2 equal to 0, then from the second equation put the y2 equal to 0 here, we get y1 equal to 0, and then turning to this complex numbers, if y1 y2 equal to 0, then we get z1 z2 equal to x1 and x2, and in this equation x1 and x2 are the real parts. So we get these two complex numbers z1 and z2 will be real numbers. So first part we have proved that these two complex numbers must be real. So for this first conclusion, that is first case y2 equal to 0, we use y2 equal to 0 in this second equation. We get y1 equal to 0, put the y2 equal to 0 and y1 equal to 0 in z1 z2, we get z1 z2 equal to real numbers. So this first half part we have proved that two complex numbers are real, x1 x2 are real in this complex number. Now use x1 equal to x2 conclusion. So if x1 equal to x2, so from first equation, if x1 equal to x2, so put x2 equal to x1 here. So x1 y2 plus x2 value is x1. So x1 y1 equal to 0. So simplify this, taking common x1 y2 plus y1 equal to 0, x1 equal to 0, y1 equal to minus y2. So here we get, so use these values in these two complex number. So what are the steps in this example? So we have assumed two complex numbers, then taking the product of two complex numbers and addition of two complex numbers. Use this sentence, that is this sum and product must be real. So for that imaginary part must be 0. That is your two conclusions. So use this second conclusion in first, or second equation in first. We have the two cases. So use these two cases one by one. So first case, use this first case in this second equation. We get y1 y2 equal to 0. Put in this complex numbers, we get z1 z2 are real numbers. That is half part we have proved. Then use the second case. If x1 is equal to x2, so use the put the x1 equal to x2 in first equation, because in second equation x1 x2 are not there. Hence for the first case y2 equal to 0, we use second equation, and for the second x1 equal to x2 case we use first equation. So put x1 equal to x2 or x2 equal to x1 in first equation. By simplifying we get x1 equal to 0 and y1 equal to minus y2. So now put these two values in the given complex number. So these are the some steps so that we have to remember exactly to solve the example. Taken the product, then addition to satisfy the sentence, that is sum and product is real, imaginary part is 0. So solve these two equations, that is put the second equation in first, we get two cases. Use first case in second equation. Whatever we get, again put in this two complex numbers, we get two complex numbers as real numbers, and use second case in first equation. Whatever we get the conclusions, use in this two complex numbers. We have x1 is 0, so z1 equal to y1 and y1 equal to minus y2, that is these are your z1 and z2. So here we get x1 equal to 0 and y1 equal to minus y2. So put y1 equal to minus y2. So z1 is your x1 plus iy1, and keep this first complex number as it is. What we have to prove in second part, that is these two complex numbers are conjugate of each other. That is, conjugate means if the first complex number we have to write as it is, that is first complex number is x1 plus iy1, then second complex number should be x1 minus iy1. That we have to prove here. So hence write this first complex number as it is. We get this conclusion. So how to use these equations? So only use this solution or this equation, this value in the second complex number, because we have to prove the two complex numbers are conjugate of each other. So for proving the conjugateness, we have to keep the first complex number as it is. No need to change that first complex number. So write this first complex number as it is, and in second complex number put this value. So z2 equal to y1 minus y2. So here x1 is equal to x2. So hence we have to prove that as z1 is your x1 plus iy1, we have to prove that z2 should be x1 minus iy1. So for that we have to change this z2 is your originally z2 is x2 plus iy2, and we have to bring z2 as x1 minus iy1. So replace this x2 by x1. How to replace this x2 by x1? Because we have this conclusion, x1 is equal to x2. Then y1 equal to minus y2. We have to use this. So replace x2 by x1. Then y2 by minus y1. y2 by minus y1. So we get x1 minus iy1, which is your complex conjugate of this complex number, that is z1. So here how to prove this second half part? So use this first case. We get y1 y2 equal to 0. We get y2 equal to 0 in second equation. We get y1 equal to 0. Put y2 y1 equal to 0 in this complex numbers. We get z1 z2 are real numbers. Then use second case, x1 equal to x2. In first equation we get these conclusions. So how to use this equation and this equation? So which equation we have to use to prove the second part, that is two complex numbers should be conjugate. So for conjugateness, first complex number write as it is, x1 plus iy1. Now we have to prove that the second complex number should be conjugate of this first complex number. So first complex number, its conjugate is x1 minus iy1. So conjugate means we have to just take the minus sign instead of plus sign of this ith term. That is your complex conjugate concept. So here we have to prove that z2 equal to x1 minus iy1. So how to prove that? So to prove this z2 equal to x1 minus iy1, we have to use the equations. So for that, for having here x1, z2 equal to x1, but originally z2 is x2 plus iy2. So replace this x2 by x1, and we can do this because we have that conclusion that x1 equal to x2. So put x2 equal to x1. Then instead of y2 we want minus y1. Instead of y2 we want minus y1. So how to take this or how to replace this? By using this equation. So y1 equal to minus y2 or y2 equal to minus y1. So put y2 equal to minus y1 because we want that equation, that is replacing y2 equal to minus y1. So we have x2 replacing by x1, y2 replacing by minus y1. So we get the complex conjugate. So this is the z2 second complex number, which is complex conjugate of first complex number. Next example is if x plus y equal to cube root of a plus ib, then prove that a upon x plus b upon y equal to 4 into x square minus y square. So here how to use this equation? Because the left side contain one complex number, right side contain cube root of another complex number. So here we have to prove this a upon x plus b upon y equal to 4 into x square minus y square. So how to prove this LHS equal to RHS? So we want AB values or XY values from this given equation. So how to find AB values or XY values? So let us use this equation. So x plus iy equal to, given that x plus iy equal to cube root of a plus ib. So next step we can do that we have to vanish this cube root. So by taking the cube on both sides, we get x plus I y bracket cube is equal to cube root of a plus ib, its cube. So cube root and cube get cancelled, hence we get a plus ib. So that is your first step we can do. Now write in reverse form a plus ib equal to x plus iy bracket cube. So here next step we can do that, expand this cube by using a plus b bracket cube formula. So a plus b bracket cube formula is a cube plus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. So here a value is x, b value is iy. So a cube x cube plus 3x square iy plus 3, put the value a equal to x and b equal to iy in this formula, plus 3x iy square, that is I square y square, plus last term cube, that is iy cube, that is I cube y cube. Now simplify this, x cube plus 3x square y I, write this first two terms as it is, then I square value is minus 1, so minus 3x y square. I cube value we can find, as we know I equal to square root of minus 1, I square is minus 1, then what is the value of I cube? I cube means I square into I. So I square value is minus 1 into I. So we get I cube equal to minus I. So you can write the I cube value in the form of I only. So here we get I cube is minus I cube is minus I, so minus I y cube. Now separate out real parts separately and I terms separately. So x cube minus 3x y square in one bracket plus I into in bracket 3x square y minus y cube in another bracket. So this we get from the given equation. So using the given equation, how we use this given equation? So we vanish this cube root by taking the cube on both sides. After expanding the cube, we get a plus ib equal to right side another complex number. So left side is complex number, right side is complex numbers. Now the next step should be comparing the real and imaginary parts on both sides. So we get a equal to x cube minus 3xy square and b equal to 3x square y minus y cube. So using this given equation, we get AB values. Now consider the LHS and put the AB values here. So LHS equal to a by x plus b by y. A value is this upon x plus b value is this upon y. Take x common and y common on from numerators. So x into x square minus 3y square, y into 3x square minus y square. X get cancelled, y get cancelled. So we have x square minus 3y square plus 3x square minus y square, x square plus 3x square is 4x square. Merge these two numbers and these two numbers. Minus 3y square minus y square is minus 4y square. Take 4 common, so we get the RHS value. So in this example, what are the main steps? That is, take the cube on both sides to vanish this cube root, because if we keep this cube root as it is, the next simplification we can't do. So hence for that we are vanishing this cube root by taking the cube on both sides, expanding this cube by using a plus b bracket cube formula. Then we get two complex numbers on left side and RHS. Comparing the real and imaginary parts, we get AB values. Put AB values in left side, we get the RHS value. Next example is prove that e raised to 2ai cot inverse b into second bracket bi minus 1 upon bi plus 1 raised to minus a equal to 1. So here what we have to prove? This we have to prove. E raised to 2ia cot inverse b into bi minus 1 bi plus 1 raised to minus a equal to 1. So how to prove this? Because there is no information is given, directly we have to prove that this left side is equal to RHS. So this is the adjustment, we have to use the adjustment. So there are some examples in complex number chapter that we have to remember some adjustment directly. There is no any reason for why we are taken that step. Just you have to remember that to solve that example only we have to remember that adjustment. So keep in mind that in every example there is some step, that is a adjustment step we have to remember. So here consider this bracket bi minus 1 upon bi plus 1 is equal to. So here we have to multiply and dividing by I. So that is your adjustment. So there is no any reason for why we are using this step. Just keep in mind that we have to prove this example and we have to remember this adjustment directly. So here consider this bi minus 1 upon bi plus 1. So multiply and dividing by I. So bi minus 1 upon bi plus 1 into I upon I. So multiply numerator and denominator separately. So we get bi square minus I. Multiply this I to this bracket, I to this bracket. So bi square minus I, bi square plus I square value is minus 1. So minus b minus I upon minus b plus I. That is, take minus sign common and cancel that minus sign to denominator sign. So we get b plus I upon b minus I. Now we can get the idea from this left side that we consider this bracket and use the adjustment, that is multiplied and divided by I, and by simplifying we get this bracket equal to b plus I upon b minus I, b plus I upon b minus I. This bracket we get b plus I upon b minus I by multiplied and divided by I. So that is your first step. Now this example contains e raised to term. So that is your idea, or you can remember as a hint that this example, this left side contain e raised to term, that is exponential term. Hence we have to use exponential form of complex number in this example. As this example, RHS of this example contains e raised to term, hence we have to use exponential form for some steps. So here consider this bracket, multiplied and divided by I, we get this number. Now this numerator is also complex number, denominator is complex number. So convert these two complex numbers, numerator and denominator, into exponential form. So what is the exponential form of complex number? So if we have x plus iy, we have seen this in first lecture, z is equal to x plus iy, then it's and the polar form is r into cos theta plus I sin theta, that is your polar form, and then exponential form is r into e raised to I theta. So here to convert the given this complex number numerator and denominator into exponential form, we want r value and theta value. So for that we have to find r and theta value. So here r value is square root of x square plus y square. So here for this numerator, by comparing this numerator, so for that consider, you can separately consider this or separately do these steps. Consider numerator b plus I equal to, polar form is this, general form, and exponential form is this. So compare this b plus I with x plus iy, we get x value is b, y value is 1. Here I coefficient is nothing, that is I coefficient is 1, that is y value is 1. So we get x value is b and y value is 1. So we want, for exponential form, we want r value and theta value. So find the r and theta value. So r equal to square root of x square plus y square. X value is b and y value is 1. Put here, we get square root of 1 plus b square. Now theta value is tan inverse y by x. Y value is 1, x value is b. So tan inverse 1 by b. So here tan inverse 1 by b. So here how we are proceeding this example or thinking the further steps. How we thinking the we are thinking the further steps. So how to remember these steps? So from the given, prove that left side, this bracket we have this adjustment we have to remember, that is, for this bracket multiply and divide by I, then we get this two complex number b plus I upon b minus I. And then this example contains, next hint is, this example contains e raised to term, hence we have to convert this numerator and denominator into exponential form. That is your second hint. So for exponential form, this is your exponential form of complex number r into e raised to I theta. So for that, to convert the into complex form into exponential form, we want r and theta values. Now find the r and theta values. So this is your r value and this is your theta value, tan inverse 1 by. Now you can see this example contains, this prove that answer contains cot inverse b, and there is a relation between tan inverse and cot inverse term. So you can relate this, tan inverse 1 by b means cot inverse b. In this way, we get this cot inverse b from this theta value. So that is your idea or hint. So we get tan inverse y by x, y is value 1, x is value b. So tan inverse 1 by b, that is you can write cot inverse b. That is your formula, general formula. So tan inverse 1 by x is, you can write cot inverse x. Why we are writing this in the form of cot inverse? Because we want cot inverse term in the prove that answer. So tan inverse 1 by b is cot inverse b. Now b plus I upon b minus I is b plus I. General exponential form is r into e raised to I theta. B minus I is, as if the complex number is x plus iy form, then exponential form is r into e raised to I theta. If complex number is in the form of x minus iy, then its exponential form is r into e raised to minus I theta. So that is your formula. So here negative sign is there. If plus sign, then r e raised to I theta. If minus sign, then r e raised to minus I theta. So for b plus I, exponential form is r e raised to I theta. For b minus I, exponential form is r e raised to minus I theta. Now cancel this r and take this e raised to minus I theta into numerator. We get e raised to plus I theta. Merge these two numbers, two terms, e raised to, we get e raised to 2I theta. Now you can put theta equal to tan inverse 1 by b, or directly you can put tan inverse e raised to 2I cot inverse b, or you can replace this tan inverse by cot inverse at the last step. Any option you can select. Now consider this whole term, bracket raised to minus a. In first step, we consider only this bracket, multiplied and divided by I, we get this number. Convert this numerator upon denominator complex number into exponential form. B plus I has the exponential form, general form, r e raised to I theta. B minus I, r e raised to minus I theta, because if x plus iy is there, then exponential form is r e raised to I theta. If x minus iy is there, then exponential form is, its exponential form is r e raised to minus I theta. Only we have to take positive term and negative term. So r e raised to minus I theta. Simplifying, we get e raised to 2I theta, and replace this theta, as the r get cancelled, No need to use this r value, only use as this b plus I upon b minus I after simplification into exponential form, theta only remains, hence replace this theta only, e raised to 2i tan inverse 1 by b. Now consider this term bracket raised to minus I. So bracket raised to minus a equal to this bracket converted to this b plus I upon b minus I, and this bracket is converted to exponential form. So convert this bi minus 1 upon bi plus 1 is this term, and this term converted to this term. So directly you can write e raised to this term, this bracket is e raised to 2i tan inverse 1 by b raised to minus a. Simplifying by merging this power e raised to power, so e raised to m raised to n, that is e raised to mn. So multiply this minus a to this power, so e raised to minus 2ia tan inverse 1 by b. So take this e raised to minus term to the numerator, because we get e raised to minus term, but in the prove that answer we want e raised to positive term. Hence we have to take this step, or we have to do this step. So by checking the prove that answer, we have to imagine the further steps. So take this e raised to negative term into denominator. So 1 upon e raised to positive term. So 1 upon 2ia tan inverse 1 by b is cot inverse b. That is your formula. You can write here, or you can write here also at the first step. So now this bracket raised to minus a equal to 1 upon e raised to term. Take this e raised to term on left side. So e raised to term into bracket raised to minus a equal to remaining value on right side is 1. So that is your prove that answer. So how to prove this example, or what are the important steps? Take this bracket only, multiply and dividing by I to numerator and denominator both. Simplifying we get this. Then this example contain e raised to term, that is exponential term. Hence convert these two complex numbers into exponential form. That is your exponential form for numerator, and for denominator this is your exponential form. Simplifying we get theta, and theta value is, by using theta formula, tan inverse y by x. X value is b and y value is 1 by comparing this numerator complex number with x plus iy, we get xy values. X value is b, y value is 1. Put in theta formula, tan inverse y by x, we get theta value is tan inverse 1 by b. So put here theta value. Then consider this bracket raised to minus a. Put this bracket value in the form of e raised to term. Simplifying by checking the left side, that is left side contain e raised to positive term. For that, take this term into denominator and take on left side, we get the prove that answer. Next examples we will see in the next lecture. Thank you.